The Special National Executive Committee of the ANC is currently underway, and this meeting is convened solely for the purposes of ratifying the ANC candidates list ahead of the Secretary General pressing the button and submitting the ANC list to the Independent Electoral Committee, whose deadline is tomorrow. We are required in terms of our constitution to ensure the necessary ratification of the list by the National Executive Committee, which is the highest decision-making body in between conferences. I do wish to assure members of the media, South Africans, our members and supporters, that as it stands, we have a total of 4,488 ward councillors, councillor candidates that are going to be fielded to fight the election on behalf of the African National Congress. That is in terms of the wards. I can also confirm that we have a total of 6,000 PR councillor candidates that are going to be fielded by the ANC as we fight the local government election. If you look at those figures, it will show you that we are running a wall-to-wall campaign, a VD to VD campaign. We are confident that it will become clear when we go to the ground following this meeting that ratifies the list that we are present in every municipality, in every district. We're currently looking at how the balance looks like in terms of gender representation to ensure both meaningful, substantive and descriptive representation of women in the ANC list, making sure that there's substantive representation of young people in the list. The list is balancing. We're currently looking at the third province. I'm sure by now we have moved on to the fourth province. We've already looked at the province of Mpumalanga, where the list is balanced. We've looked at the province of Limpopo. We've looked at the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We are continuing. We anticipate that come the last province where we have a broader discussion that indeed our list will meet the test, and the test is contained in the rules by the Electoral Committee of the ANC and the candidate selection guidelines. Into the future, I'm likely to be asked about cases where there may be disputes. The ANC has a very well-established dispute resolution mechanism, and so where that happens, it will be subjected to that process. But we are quite happy with the work that our branches have done and the community vote that has been hugely considered, and we look forward to fighting the election. We're going to the ground now that we've concluded the list process.
Mahlengi, Eastern Cape, we know it's not only an issue of dispute. There is a legal letter that was sent to the office of the SG threatening potential litigation. How are you dealing with that specific issue, which seems like a crisis that is coming?
The issue of the Eastern Cape is twofold. One is the ongoing litigation. That process is still before the courts. But you would know that for the purposes of running a legitimate candidate selection process and a list process and this finalization, that the PEC has been brought back to continue with that work. This is obviously respecting the High Court ruling, which of course we've been allowed to go and appeal, but we wanted to make sure that during this process the High Court ruling is sustained for the purposes of making sure that the process is legitimate. Where there are disputes from the Eastern Cape, they would follow the normal dispute resolution mechanism that any other province would follow. I hope that suffices for an explanation.
It doesn't, because you see, because at the core of that letter is the fact that they claim that the processes to select candidates in that province were presided over by a PTT, which has been invalidated by the High Court. Of course, as you say, you are appealing that particular decision, but the standing decision is that the PTT was not valid.
That is a process that was being litigated. And again, as I repeat, the process that is under litigation is being attended to by our lawyers. on the instruction, the briefing that is given by the Secretary General on behalf of the organization, it will follow that normal course of business. The disputes, or the complaints rather, let me use the word complaints, from the Eastern Cape are not new, in the sense that there has been that level of litigation. And so it will follow that normal course. But what we can say is that the list process in the Eastern Cape has been conducted in the same way as any other province in terms of the application of guidelines. Status of the PTT vis-a-vis the status of the PEC is a legal process. And anything in between would be muddying waters to try and suggest that because there is a litigation underway and therefore that the entire list process is questionable. In fact, what we have done has been to reinstate the PEC in order to ensure that the final list is observing the ruling of the High Court. I'd like to proceed to another question, if any.
Political solution? Sorry. Last one. I'm saying, are you at all looking at a political solution? I mean, because someone would say these legal issues in the Eastern Cape have overstayed their welcome since the March conference that was interdicted, the PTT that was invalidated, and now a threat on the list itself. Is a political solution not the way to go?
Well, I suppose all manner of solutions should be employed. It's in the best interest of the ANC to have a stability that is required in all of our provinces, and including, and in particular, the Eastern Cape at this point in time. And I'm sure we are exploring all avenues. There is nothing that is limited only to the legal process. I mean, in the nature of the ANC, political solutions are sought all the time, because we are interested in ensuring that there is maximum unity as we go ahead to fight this election, and of course beyond the 4th of November.
Will you meet the deadline of 5 p.m. on Friday to submit the names?
Which is tomorrow. Yes. Or as I indicate, we are looking at perhaps now, maybe we're on the 5th or 6th province, loading our candidates on the IEC roll. Where by this afternoon, hopefully, we will just be waiting for the Secretary General to press the button